and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Lazor. It's good to hear your voice.
And thank you. And it's always good to hear yours as well. How are you and Aaron doing?
We're doing good. It's raining right now, but it was sunny most of the day, and I spent some time working on the truck. But other than that, things are good.
Okay, good. It's very, very exceptionally noisy behind me, so I'm going to have to strain to hear you. I could hear everything you just said, but barely. I wonder, did you find out anything more about Jack Lamb? John, is it Jack or John?
Jack McLamb, the police officer?
No. John, is it John Lamb? L-A-M?
Yeah, John Lamb. He's the guy that was advocating for prisoners, advocated for the Bundys, and he had a car accident. He is recovering very well, and he appreciates everybody's prayers, and he's a hell of a man. I don't know any other way to say it, but we love John Lamb.
Yeah, I remember all the good things you've said about him, and I've been trying to call him. I know he's been back home out of the hospital now for quite a few weeks, and I've been trying to call, and every time I try to call, the recording hangs up right when they ask them if they want to take the call. So
right. I do remember the conversation now. I'm sorry, I had forgotten. Let me ask my wife. Have you reached out to John Lamb about Lazor? Did he respond? You did tell him? Do you remember telling him? Okay, so...
You're talking to Aaron, right?
No, yeah, I was talking to Aaron. I thought we'd send a note out to John Lamb asking him, but he hadn't replied. And I haven't talked to him since he's had his accident, so he could be just focusing on a few folks. I'm not sure. But I'll send him another message and ask him what's going on, Free.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
If for some reason he's just not able to handle anybody else new or whatever the case may be, is if I know, I have no problem with that. But it would be a relief off me to not keep coming out to the phones and waiting in lines and all that stuff to get on a phone to try to call him. So I'd like to know, or maybe there might even be some other problem with the phones. Maybe they're trying to accept the call and it's not going through. So whatever the case is, I just need to get whatever the status is from his end, and then I can act accordingly. Yeah,
that's very understandable, and I'll try to get you a response.
Thank you. I have no address for him, which means I can't write him. So
okay.
I don't know if you've got an address that can be given to me or not.
Let me, Aaron. Do we have John Lamb's address to write a letter? But do you have the address that we could give to Free? Okay. I just don't communicate with him that well, Free. And if I do get an address, I'll send it to you in a letter because I just don't think I have it right now.
Yeah. I mean, and assuming too that you're at liberty to give it out, I would assume since he's doing this type of work that's okay. But I guess that'll be up to you and him to decide if that's all right with him.
Right.
I have something I got in the mail from Ken Massat today, and I haven't really even had time to read the whole thing. I've just glanced at it real briefly. But if I waited and sat around to read it first, I might not get on the phone because the lines start building up, and then I may not have gotten in. So I have it right here in my hand. It says it's something evidently. Yeah, he pulled off the internet, Huffington Post. It says the heading is "Cheating California Prosecutors Face Prison Under New Law." So I'm reading the very first paragraph. It says California prosecutors who knowingly withhold or falsify evidence can now be charged with a felony and go to prison under a law signed Friday by Governor Jerry Brown. Friday meaning I don't know what Friday that is. This is dated 8/24, but that only means the day that it's pulled off the internet, I believe, the day that it's downloaded, if I'm using the right term. But I don't know when this bill actually took place, or I don't even see the name of the name of the bill or the number of the bill. I don't even see it anywhere on here. That's not very well written. That's not very smart. But anyway, that's very hopeful. I don't know if it covers, if it's retroactive, which means it may be only from prosecutors from here onward, and they often do that, so we can't get relief if something happened to us already. We're already in prison. Okay, now here's something more. This is another page that came with it, but it's not an exact part of it, but it says California Penal Code Section 137. So I'm not sure if this is part of that new thing or not, if this is different. Anyway, this is exciting news, and I just want to put word out to anybody listening if anybody has further information on this or could get further information, because this main part doesn't even have the bill number. So it's a little bit inefficient, whoever put this thing on the internet. Okay. But I also want to ask if there's anybody that's an attorney, a paralegal, or anybody in that realm of work or whatever, if there's anybody out there who might be able to help in some way, because I'm just so overloaded and so emotionally having such a hard time pressing through the barriers that I described, I think the last time or time before that we talked. It's called legal abuse syndrome. It's just, I'm one of the main go-getters that I've ever seen in my life, and all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, actually build up over years, I can't seem to get through these barriers and get things done in terms of all this legal stuff. So I'm looking for anybody that might be able to help in some way. It could be an attorney. It could be a retired attorney. It could even be a retired judge if we could find an honest one. Or it could be just a layman that knows a little bit about law or is willing to even pull some more information off the internet and send it to me. Any of those type of things will help anybody in any level or station of life in these, whether they're legally trained or not, can help in some way if they want to. That's the biggest key. If they are willing to and able to in some way get more information, help in whatever way they can.
Amen, amen. I may be getting an address for John Lamb. I'm not sure. We'll see if that comes in.
Okay. Now, something else I received in the mail today from Dr. Richard Coonan, who is an old friend of mine, who was a doctor, an MD, that actually discovered my chemical sensitivity in the 1970s when I was on the street, and helped me overcome that when I was on the street, when I was life and death case when I was very young, and even up into my 20s.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Free, but I do have the address if you want me to read it off.
Very good, thank you, I appreciate that. So I forgot exactly what I was saying when we got off onto the address thing.
I'm not sure. You were talking about a legal paper or something? I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. I was talking about Dr. Richard Coonan. When I was out on the street, he actually saved me from continuing to go through that life and death problems or close to that with chemical sensitivity. We've become friends over the years, and he's actually come into prison twice as a doctor to do examinations on me to try to get me non-fluoridated water and that sort of thing, because I have a real acute sensitivity to fluoride, chlorine, and some other things. And he's apparently he's doing really bad health-wise, because he's in either his late 80s or early 90s, I believe. And his assistant has sent me some stuff tonight, which is the two bills I've been trying to get for a few years now, a couple of years, on falsification of evidence. They passed in California law, one in 2016, one in 2015. They are part of this thing to subject prosecutors who withhold evidence or falsify evidence to more stringent standards. They could get me back into court, but there's a big loophole on it, and that is, it's not a loophole for me, it's a loophole for the state against me, and that is that apparently you have to have submitted this evidence to the court very timely. If I do it now, I have to show that I couldn't have either received the information, the evidence, or couldn't have gotten it presented to the court until now. And that's really, that's going to be a really hard hurdle in my situation. But I did try to put this information that's on the 3552, all the falsification of evidence stuff that I proved, I tried to submit that to the courts years ago when I first pulled it all together, which was about 18 years after I came to prison, so it would have been about 2000, 2001.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The courts kept procedurally barring it, so it's never been ruled on. So maybe there'll be some pathway for me to get through. But anyway, for the record, if anybody out there listening or seeing your website wants to go further into this information as well, it's Assembly Bill number 1328 of 2015, and the other one is Senate Bill number 1134 of 2016. That's when they were approved and signed into law by the governor. So I'm just putting that out there for anybody that may be able to help in any way with those things, which are apparently totally different than, at least I think they are, than the thing that Ken Massat sent me tonight. Unless the thing Ken Massat sent me are older, it could be one of the same thing. I hope not. I hope this new one is much newer. So, I hope the one that Ken sent me is much newer.
Right.
So, anything more on your end? Can I give you the floor for a moment?
Well, we're really fighting a freedom of speech issue, kind of a police state brutality. You know, they've taken Alex Jones off of all of the platforms, Facebook, Google, YouTube.
Wait a minute, Rudy. I cannot hear. The noise is so loud behind me. It's just unbelievable. Try again.
Okay.
Say again.
We're fighting a loss of freedom of speech. You know, they've taken Alex Jones off of Facebook and YouTube, and
Yes.
we're having multiple cases of police brutality where they just kill, and they get very short sentences. We had a police officer kill a young boy about 30 minutes from my home, and he only got 15 years in prison, you know.
Right. We talked about that in my last call, and I did see that on the news shortly before we talked also. Yeah, I understand, and that, you know, that's the police situation is out of control, but I'm so glad to finally see that so much of this stuff in this day and age is being captured on cell phones, you know, on smartphones. So they can't lie their way out of a lot of these things. That's, I think, the only reason why they're getting any time or any imprisonment. But I still see so many of them skate and get away scot-free when it was real obvious that they just maliciously shot somebody for no reason. We had talked a little bit.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
About California prisoner Richard Lobato, who was shot up real bad and left for dead by the Los Gatos and San Jose police, some of the same police officers involved in my frame-up. So we talked about that a little bit a couple of calls ago. Okay, let me give you back the floor if you got anything more you want to add, because we got 40 seconds left roughly.
No, just we're praying for you, Free, and know that, you know, there are some people out here that care, and I wish we didn't.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
I wish we didn't live in such a society that, you know, was like this. But you got a great testimony for the Lord. Just, you know, be faithful unto death, and I know that you're going to be richly rewarded. I pray you get out of there before you know, real soon. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to wind this thing up and get me out of here within the next year, maybe less than that. Sure hope so.
I hope
Thanks for your
so.
prayers, and you're in mine as well.
Okay.
I got about 2 seconds left, so okay. Thank you, Rudy.
We love you,
Take
Free.
care.
God bless.